Hi everyone, so I walked past this area here. I actually was looking at this plant. I'm just like, wow, this plant is going so well because like it's really albino and it doesn't have much burn on it in the sun. So I thought that was pretty impressive. And then while I was looking at that, I looked at this plant here. Now I'll zoom in. I don't know if you can see, there's like ants, and I'm going to put my hand behind the plant. And what is happening? Oh, there's a hair. Anyway, and what the ants are doing is that they're planting aphids. So where's my finger? See, like right here, that little black thing? That is an aphid. And let me zoom out. And like you can, whoops, my finger's in the way. This is a disaster. So what you can do, you can spray it. But I am just going to, so I've only got one hand here. Oops. This isn't going too well. Okay, there's one. Doing a really good job. I'm a good videographer here. And that one. And so because I've gotten rid of these flowers, so like if you're lazy, you can just, whoops, lost a leaf somewhere. If you're lazy, you can just toss all of them in the garden like you don't care for them. Or you can pluck these leaves off. And I think Debbie is quite a prolific plant. So if you want to take the time, you can pluck all of these, leaves off. And once I've kind of got enough off, I actually put it on the ground and I squash the crap out of it. Murdering all the, well, I don't know if murdering, I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube, I don't know, but getting rid of all those bloody aphids and taking a few ants out while I do it, because my one hand's holding this and the other hand's holding that. Look at that, did you see that then? Look at that, gross, all aphids, boo. Yeah, I do that because, I don't know, I just like making sure they're gone. I'd rather squash them like that than throw them in the garden and then they still are alive and jump on another plant. That one doesn't have, oh yeah, there's one there. But yeah, I'd rather do that. I mean, if you want, you can spray them and toss them in the garden, but that's just a waste of spray when you can just squash them like that. Isn't that right, Tia? We just squash our aphids. So yeah, that's what I do when I find some aphids. I squash them with my foot. So I scraped up my leaves. And I got a tray down here. It's underneath this shelf and I'm just gonna toss them in there. Sorry if you just heard my crunchy knee. But yeah, I just kind of toss the leaves in there. And let them do their thing. This one here, this one is actually a variegated golden glow. Yes, isn't it good, Tia? Always got to be center of attention. You got to love cats, huh? Well, I know some people do, and some people don't, but blah, 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 blah. This is a monstrose blue metal leaf, and I'm hoping, it looks like the leaf prop is also monstrose, but only time will tell. This one here, that is Star Mark. I've got some more Star Marks down here. She got like really badly burnt, and I decided to pluck a whole heap of leaves off her to restart her rosette. And I'll show you what she looks like now. There's still some burnt leaves on her, but she did get burnt again. This one is really fussy. Not really fussy. She just gets sunburnt really easily. I also have this one over here. This is my cream tea. she also gets sunburnt quite easily. This section here, I'll just lift my phone up, it's the shade cloth is actually doubled over on the top. So it's supposed, like the shade cloth itself is 30% and we doubled it over. So technically it'd kind of be 60%, but we really stretched it. So I reckon it might be around about 50%, if that, you know, because it got really stretched. But yeah, she also gets, did I say that was cream tea? I can't remember. Yeah, that's cream tea. But yeah, she also gets burn marks. So my cream tea and my star mark, I think that's what it's called. Wouldn't that be so funny if I was calling it the wrong name? I'm pretty sure it's star mark. I don't know what I've done with the label, but she's a very beautiful plant. If you stretch it out, if you stress it out, I've got to talk slower. If you stress it out nicely, it can actually become a really beautiful orange. So there's that. That's pretty cool, huh? Yeah. Sorry, I was just looking at this plant. I didn't know what these markings were, and I was like, has this got powdery mildew? And I don't know. But I think that's a bit of sun stress or something like that. I don't know. Look at my variegated superb. Isn't she pretty? She's a head chop from this plant here. So that's the original head. The original head had that variegation. And then the bloody stem. Oh, I'm not impressed with the stem. She is giving very albino, wherever you want to say, very albino leaves. So, not impressed with that. But hey, at least I've still got the head. I won't be chopping that again because, I don't know, she's not a very good chopper. She just gets really albino, like, so, long story short, this is the original head, okay? That was the original stem. I chopped the head, moved the head on, the head grew beautiful like this, and I was brave and I chopped the head again. The stem from that one, I think that actually wasn't bad, but the bloody frost got it and killed it. So that was not fun. So yeah, but anyway, luckily I've got the head, and the head's like a really pretty sort of variegation. Funny story with this. This is that one. But yeah, funny story with this. Not long after I got it, she was so small. God, she was tiny. Yeah, very tiny. But anyway, she had dead leaves from, see that rust? She had some yucky leaves from rust. So I was trying to pull the leaves out. And you see that there, wants to focus, see that's a little pup? Now, when I tell you, that pup was probably the size of one of its leaves. It was tiny. And when I realized that I plucked it off by pulling the leaf out, I was filthy with myself. I was like, oh, God damn it, you know, I've lost a pup. Look at that. She has grown. She fought and she grew. So there's that. Isn't that just bloody unreal? Very, very proud of that little thing. I try and keep the water up to it because it's like a Rasula. I try and keep the water up to it, and so far she seems to be pretty happy. Actually, yesterday I had one of my variegated Debbies. I actually planted her in the garden bed. Here's my mother plant. Very pretty. Very pretty. Gosh, so pretty. But yeah, I planted one in my garden bed. Tia's tail is tickling my toe. But yeah, I planted one of these in the garden bed. I actually planted, it's bigger than this one, and I think the variegation is better on it. I planted it in the garden bed, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes, because I planted, I don't know if I only mentioned it on Instagram or if I mentioned it on YouTube as well. So long story short, again, sorry, I feel like you guys are going to get tired of me saying long story short, but I had leaf propagations from my variegated Debbie because I thought she was reverting, and then when you do a head chop, you know, you pluck some leaves and blah, blah, blah. I had a bunch of leaves. So this is grown by leaf. That one there, I think that one's grown by leaf. That one's grown by leaf. I've got a few that are grown by leaf. Some of them, I'll grab the mother plant because she's really pretty to look at while I talk. So some of them weren't variegated at all. And I grabbed one of them and I stuck it in my garden bed because she had no variegation whatsoever. Anywho, you know what? I'll pull the cover off my garden bed and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, here's the garden bed. It might be a bit hard because I can't really reach over. But, so, see that Debbie right there? That one right there? I'll put this one next to it. This one's really pretty. Look at her, isn't she gorgeous? Anyway, that one was the exact same size as this one. And yeah, she had no variegation on her, just like this one. This is another leaf prop for my variegated Debbie with no variegation. So I stuck her in my garden bed. They were both the same size. Now, if I can reach over, look at the size difference. And to make things even funnier, not that it's funny, but this cluster of heads here, there is definitely one head there that is variegated. So Tia's in between my legs. Well, she was. So if I go around this side, you won't be able to see. You hold that for me. Thanks. You won't be able to see it, but this here is actually a really beautiful variegated Debbie. I stuck her in there yesterday, so I'm hoping she grows really big and really quick like this one, and pushes out some variegated babies underneath her, so that would be really good. All my plants are absolutely covered in dust because what is happening at the moment, so this front section here, Dad has just whippersnipped, and we'll put some more garden beds in because I really want to get all my frillies and bumpies in the ground because these guys have just grown so well, and I don't give my frillies and bumpies that I have way over there enough water. Like, yeah, so I'm hoping to get some of them in the ground. Also, if you go back on my videos, you will see a video where I'm talking about my plants and I talk about my raindrops, my Echeveria raindrops, and how much I love it and how, you know, it's been through the wars. I think it's the very next video I update and I'm just like, my raindrops got eaten by a goat and she's back to square one again, and she was back to like a couple of nubs. I am proud to report, look at that. What a champion this plant is. She has grown back an absolute champion. I've actually chopped a head off because she has heads coming everywhere out of her because, yeah, she got eaten by a goat, back to a complete nub. So, yeah, really, really proud of her. If you haven't watched, like, some of my first videos where I talk about this plant, it's actually really funny looking back on it now. I remember being very, very upset when the goats ate some of my plants. But anyway, they're all starting to come back. That one certainly has come back. My Echeveria little brother, so the newer hybrid by Mal Morgan. I don't know if John Oates was involved in that. I'm not too sure, but that one, half of the plant got eaten. I think I show that in the YouTube video as well. I head chopped that, and that doesn't look very nice at the moment because it's just starting to recover. It's just sort of woken up. I head chopped that way too soon. I'll show you. So yes, this is my little brother now. She's in, yeah, a head chop. If you go and watch one of those videos, you will be able to see how big this thing was. This thing was huge. Bigger than a dinner plate. It was monstrous. So I'm hoping to get these garden beds up and going, and then I'll stick this in the garden bed. But isn't she a beautiful blue color? So I've got, Tia thinks I'm talking to her. So yeah, I've got, yeah, little brother. I'll let you guys look at my watering tray while I try and grab Bumpy Blue. Oh, this is a hard task, guys. Ooh. All right. And this is my Bumpy Blue. I'll show you, what's it called? Black Opal. Hold on. So this is my Black Opal. Holy moly. Talk about a drama queen. She grows leggy, and then she does this to her lower leaves, no matter how much water I keep up with her. She looks, let's go for a walk. You can see her in all of the light. Isn't she just phenomenal? Such a shame. She's a bit of a drama queen. But anyway, I'll show her. Oh, sorry. I'm getting distracted by her on my phone. Isn't she pretty? Sorry if you can hear the frog. But anyway, that is Zorro. I've seen somewhere along the lines that Zorro is actually a parent for for Black Opal. And I can totally see it. She's just like, you know, more of this purple. She's just, she's really pretty, really, really pretty. I hope to eventually get her in the garden bed. She was on my wish list for ages, and I eventually got one. But yeah, she should be in a bigger pot, I admit that. But yeah, I'm hoping to get her in the garden bed, but I'm a little scared because if I get her in the garden bed, I don't think I'll get that gorgeous, you know, purple and pastel colours of her. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll stick her in the garden bed. I might end up keeping her in a pot. We will see. I'm too scared to chop her as well, by the way. I'm too scared to lose her because I already know she's a bit of a drama queen, so I'm a little bit scared. This is another pretty one. It doesn't have an ID. It was a random one I found at Bunnings. It's only still small, so it'd be interesting to see what she looks like when she grows up. But she's got a bit of a purple tinge to her as well. And I think as she gets older, her leaves are starting to get a slight wave. Can you see that one there? So, yeah, interesting to see this one grow. I'll definitely probably stick this one in the ground. Yeah. So this is Echeveria Fantasy Variegated. She looks a little bit like that flying cloud going around at the moment, but this is a head chop. She definitely goes a beautiful pink, purple colour in winter. So, oh no, I just noticed a plant rotting. I'll show you that in a sec if you guys want to have a look at that. Oh, Jesus Christ, woman. But anyway, so here is the body of this. Look at that. She's got some variegated babies. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, I just noticed a plant rotting. Yay. We love that. This is Blue Tongue. There's her leaves. If I touch her, the rest of it, oh yeah, there we go. See how she's like, hold on, I'm just going to toss these leaves over the back behind me. See how she's like I'll pick her up so we can have a closer look at her. See how she's really pale in the middle? That's just like a sign when they're pale. It's just like, oh no, she's probably got some stem rot going on up in there. So I'll probably pluck all her leaves off and just toss them in that tray behind me. Boo! Throughout the week, I posted on Instagram. I was having an issue with my little greenhouses with my little succulent babies in them. I was getting frogs. So the frogs were like lifting up the bottom of this and going inside because it was nice and humid and warm. Which, you know, isn't ideal because those babies are really delicate and you don't want like frogs walking on them, and they burrow into the dirt a little bit, so they kick my plants up. I don't know if I'll lose my baby lithope that I've managed to grow in here because the lithope actually got ripped up by a frog. A frog was sitting in this one as well. I had to replant a couple of plants. But it broke a lot of the roots off my lithopes. So I don't know if that will survive. So the frogs were there constantly every day. I ended up catching them and relocating them because I was not impressed with that. All the time and effort that's gone into these babies, that's the last thing you want. I couldn't help but laugh though. Like the other week I had a meat ant problem. Who would have thought you would have a meat ant problem on succulents? They were, I don't know if I spoke about it on YouTube actually. I'm all over the place. But yeah, I had meat ants. There was a massive nest in the paddock and they were coming in and they were taking the nectar out of my flowers, which at first I didn't mind. I was like, yeah, whatever. But all my plants were getting covered in them. And because I'm trying to cross-pollinate, what they were actually doing was they were even cutting out the seed pods and taking the seed pods with them. And once I noticed that, I was like, you guys gotta leave. You guys gotta leave. So my dad took care of that. But yeah, anyway, I think I've got enough footage for a little YouTube video, so I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.